we think of autumn destinations, we may imagine the bright red trees of the northeastern United States or the crisp, cold, misty mornings of Western Europe. But with 42% of the country spanning wilderness, China is one of the best places to see nature show off its colors before winter. Hi, I'm Kyle Obermann, Nature Contributor for the China Current, showing China's wild side. In this episode, I'm going to give you some insider tips of some off-the-beaten-path destinations that are definitely worth visiting in China this fall. Fall in China is my favorite season. The summer rains stop, the air becomes crisp, and the landscape transforms into a prism of warm hues. One of the earliest places I fell in love with in China that you probably have never heard of is Mount Xiaowothai, right next to Beijing. We mentioned in a previous episode how leopards are getting closer and closer to return to Beijing. Well, this mountain is part of their wild habitat. It's also a paradise for hiking, where you can get to see some of China's best fall colors. Hike through narrow canyons and escape to a destination few know about or visit. Shortly after I went camping there, the most remote parts of this mountain were closed off to outside visitors because of excess litter and an impact on the sensitive ecosystem. So please remember that enjoying these places is a special privilege, and we need to be leaving them as wild and pristine as we found them for others to enjoy. Another place I'd recommend exploring much farther south is Mount Wugong in China's coastal Jiangxi province. When you think of the coast, you may not think of elevation, but Mount Wugong is an alpine paradise. But watch out for the forecast. The winds here are famously strong and can even be dangerous. But if you get the timing right, this is one of the best hikes in China. Further inland, the Anju Desert poplar forest in Inner Mongolia is truly one of a kind. The golden poplars framed by the desert and reflected in these desert oases make this location one of the most special experiences in China that is impossible to find elsewhere in the world. Speaking of color, let's not forget Panjins Red Beach to the north of Beijing. This is one of the world's largest wetlands and turns a deep crimson red every fall as the plant species here soak in salt water from the ocean. The sea of red looks simply otherworldly and is definitely worth the 6 hours journey from China's capital. And last but not least, there's Mount Suguang, or the Four Sisters, and the surrounding valleys close to my home in Sichuan province. This is one of my personal favorite destinations, and it's only a 3.5 hours drive from Chengdu to the base of this Himalayan peak of over 6,000 meters in the Tibetan regions. Here, you'll not only encounter Tibetan culture, but an entirely different ecosystem filled with golden Chinese larch and also snow leopards, although you probably won't be lucky enough to see one. China's list of wild places are exhaustive, but these should definitely be on your to-do list this fall. Getting out into nature is the first step in learning to appreciate and take care of it.
I'm James Chow. You're watching The China Current. Follow us on social media @The China Current.